Hi, friend. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Riri, and this is ReeReeSaves, a YouTube channel documenting my journey to overcome trauma spending, which is an extreme form of emotional spending. I record my budgeting trial and error, things I'm learning in therapy, and what happens when I experience a trauma spending episode. I hope this helps you, especially if you experience trauma spending too. And if you want even more, join my Patreon for weekly podcasts and the occasional blog post. Details in the description. Hi guys, welcome back. So today I'm not doing a cash stuffing, but instead I'm going to do my savings challenges where I save money for different things. So let me explain it to you. The way I do this is when I have money extra from my budget categories that I didn't spend, or money I bring in with my side hustle, which I'll explain later, I save that money and put it into increments of $5 bills. And then those $5 bills get fed into this binder. Now I roll a dice and it tells me which of the 6 categories to put it in. Technically there's 5 categories, but I do 2 feeding into one category, 2 numbers on the dice feeding into one category. So we have braces, emergency fund, extra debt payment, Disney. This is the one that gets 2 different die numbers feeding into one category. So this is just one Disney trip, but it gets double the money. And then I have tennis shoes. And you'll notice some of the categories are more serious and some of them are more fun. I tried to split it in half. So my serious categories are extra debt payment. I just forgot. Extra debt payment, braces, and emergency fund. So those are the 3. And then the fun ones are the tennis shoes and the Disney trips. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my little trackers out so that I can color them more easily, and then we'll start playing with the money and I'll count up how much I have. All right, we have my 6 categories, and here's my money that I've saved this week. Now, I'll be upfront, it's not much, and I debated even making this video, but I thought it would be realistic to show I often don't have a lot of money extra. So this week I have $25 or 5 5s. So I'm going to roll 1 dice this week, and I will color in the little trackers as we go. Last week I told you that each tracker was worth $50. That was wrong. Each one of these trackers has 20 little figures on it, little symbols, and 20 times 5 is 100. So each one of these trackers has $100 feeding into it. Now just to be clear, that's not everything needed for each of these categories. Like braces is going to cost me, I think, $1,100, $1,200. But I'm breaking this up into more manageable chunks, and once I fill out a tracker and color every single symbol, I'll start over and keep going. All right, so let's go ahead and roll the first die. A 5, so that's a Disney. So let's go ahead and color in my little mini head. All right, I felt a little bit like last time the serious categories, these 3 got gypped, so hopefully this time they'll get a little more. So that's 1 $5 bill set aside. A 4, an extra debt payment. So let's color that one in. All right, that's another 5 set aside. Okay, roll the dice. We got a 5, okay. That's another Disney. So I'll color in my little mini head. Okay, 2 more. I got a 2. That's an emergency fund. Very good. All right, last one. What's it going to be? Hopefully braces, maybe? That would be nice. Ooh, we got an extra debt payment again. Right? Yeah, that's an extra debt payment. All right, that's all of it spent. So let's go ahead and fill it in the envelopes. So braces got no extra, so it still has 5. Emergency fund got 1 more, so it gets an additional 5. We'll do Disney in a second. Extra debt payment got 2, so we'll give it a 10 for a total of 15 in this envelope now. Okay, Disney got an extra 2 for a total of, let's see, it's a total of 40 in there now. That's great. And, oh, that's not sticking. Stick, please. And tennis shoes got nothing extra, so it still has 35, which is plenty. All right. So I'll put my little collection envelope back in. And we'll see what next week brings. This week brought $25 to play with. Maybe next week we'll have more. We'll see. All right, the next segment I'm going to show you is going to be about what I do for my side hustles, how I'm generating this extra money. And I will show you that next. So when I say side hustle, what do I mean? For me, side hustles are all the jobs or ways I bring in extra money on top of my normal income. So I do 3 different side hustles. I do Shipt grocery delivery, DoorDash food delivery, and I do Poshmark, which is second-hand selling. All right, let's get into it. Shipt. Shipt is my favorite side hustle. It involves doing grocery shopping for people and then dropping their groceries off at their house. I enjoy grocery shopping, so this doesn't feel like a chore to me. Plus, some people tip really well. All right, here are the pros. The guaranteed minimum's pretty good for each shop, at least here where I live. You get tips on top of the minimum pretty often. And the tips can be high as they're a percentage of the grocery order at times. There's less gas spent than DoorDash because you spend a big chunk of your time doing the shopping. So you're just in the store during that time. And the instant cash out to a debit card is currently only 49 cents, which is a great deal. Now the cons. Well, tips may take a week or more to get to you. The app prompts the shopper to tip the next time they open the app, which could be a week or more later. It does still use your own gas and causes wear and tear on your vehicle when you deliver the groceries. And if you do the normal cash out, you won't get paid until the Friday after the week you shopped. All that being said, this is my favorite and most successful side hustle. If you want to check this out, I'll leave a link in the description below to get you started. Now, DoorDash is complicated to me. I do still occasionally do DoorDash, but I find it much harder to make money than with Shipt. In case you aren't familiar, DoorDash is a food delivery service. You pick up and deliver people's food orders and drop it off at their homes. I find this side hustle more stressful because it involves a lot more driving, which I don't love. For the pros, as long as there's a need, you can deliver at any time. You can just tap the button to dash now in the app and off you go. But as for the cons, they often send you very small orders that have a lot of driving involved. I don't accept anything paid less than $1 per mile driven, and that's a much smaller subset of orders offered, and they kind of ding you if you don't accept every order. It also uses your own gas and causes wear and tear on your vehicle. And the instant cash out is $1.99, which is 3 times the price, 4 times the price of Shipt. Overall, I'm shifting away from DoorDash and mostly doing Shipt these days. Now, Poshmark is a different type of app. It's a secondhand sale app. I've used it to sell loads of clothing and even electronics. I like it because you set a price. People can offer less, but you don't have to accept the offers. Plus, shipping is built into the price in the app. Your listings never expire and you don't have to renew them. So this one isn't a consistent money provider, but I do have success with it. If you want to check it out, I'll leave a link in the description box below. I want to start this section by explaining why it exists. I share my therapy updates because I'm working to overcome trauma spending. I need to learn how to manage my emotions, especially when they are uncomfortable. Trauma spending happens when I try to change how I feel using money. Now, there's a reason I do this. It's because it's minorly effective. However, it leaves me feeling sad and disappointed, as it doesn't line up with my long-term goals. So by learning to manage my emotions, I can learn to handle feeling uncomfortable emotions without feeling the need to rush out and change them. Here's what I'm learning this week. Today, I'm going to talk about cognitive diffusion, or the way I talk about it with my therapist is that thoughts are just thoughts. Now, there's a distinct difference between a single thought and what you decide to think about. And just because a thought pops into your mind doesn't mean that it's yours. It doesn't mean you have to identify with it, and it doesn't mean you have to think about it. You can kind of think or treat all your thoughts like you're in a group brainstorming session and tell your mind, that's a thought, thank you. Do we have any other options? This is the core of cognitive diffusion. Now, the definition of cognitive diffusion is it's the process of loosening the grip of thinking on identity, promoting psychological flexibility by creating distance from thoughts and fostering mindful observation. Cognitive diffusion facilitates a more objective perspective on thoughts, empowering individuals to relate to their mental processes with greater openness and adaptability, key elements in achieving psychological flexibility. So think about it like this. Your mind's primary function is to think. But just because your mind thinks something doesn't mean it's a fact. And your brain really is thinking all the time. You can't shut it off. It is thinking, 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 trying to help you survive. But just because you are thinking doesn't mean you have to tune into your thoughts. They can be there while you choose to do other things. That's called unhooking. So my homework this week is to try unhooking from my thoughts for 30 minutes while I do something like read a book or take a bubble bath or something kind of still and quiet. And the thought is that as I just let the thoughts kind of be there and just let them do their thing while I do my thing, I will learn and kind of develop the skill of unhooking from my thoughts, to not cling so tightly to them that I have to react to them, that I have to do something to stop them or to meet their needs or whatever. And you'll notice I'm talking like thoughts are almost their own being. I acknowledge they're not. This is kind of personification, meaning I'm giving them a life, but they don't have one. But I am saying that thoughts are not necessarily a reflection of myself. They aren't necessarily a reflection of you. And so I don't have to tune into them. I don't have to think about them. They can just be there and I can do what I want to do. Or at least that's what I'm trying to develop. Friend, I am so happy you chose to join me today. Thank you. We are in this together, and together we can make positive changes in our lives as we work to overcome trauma, including trauma spending. I want you to know that you are wanted, you are of worth, and you are my friend. Signing off. Love, Riri.